Are you torn between selling your property or renting it out? Well, you're not alone in this decision. Today, I'm going to give you three important factors that'll help you make that decision. My name is Paul Van Balen with SunWorld Property Management, and we've been helping hundreds of homeowners over the years to make that decision whether or not to rent out their house or to sell the house. So I will help you take you through these steps. And trust me, I've been through this with many homeowners, helping them make the proper decision. First, I want to talk to you about why you may need to sell the property. You may need to sell the property because you're buying another home which you plan to live in, and you need the equity in the house you're living in to buy the other house. That's completely understandable. The other thing, depending on the financial situation you have, you may need to sell the property in order to qualify for the new loan. Another reason you may need to sell is in your neighborhood, there is covenants and restrictions known as CC&Rs, and it may prohibit you having a rental property. So check those documents before you decide to rent it out. So when you first decide to put the house up for rent, you want to know what the house is going to rent for. So let's say your house rents for $1,900 a month and your mortgage is $2,300 a month. You go, oh no, I'm going to have negative cash flow. But you got to look at what's really happening. So let's say, for example, we have this house and it rents for $1,900 and your mortgage is $2,300. You got to realize some factors here. One factor is the tax write-off, the depreciation you may get. So you're wondering what depreciation is. Well, what depreciation is the federal government allows you to depreciate the property. Even though your property might be going up in value, the government says it's getting used and it's wearing out. And they allow you to do this over 27 and a half years. So check with your tax person to see how that's going to affect you. The other thing, depending on your income, you might, on this negative cash flow, what we call on the back end after you do your taxes, you might be in a situation where it puts more money in your pocket at the end of the year. The other thing to consider on this is the principal payment. So let's say you do have this negative cash flow every month, but also what's happening every month is the principal on the loan is going down. So it's like a mutual fund. You're putting money into retirement, and it's the same situation. And the mortgage is going down. The amount you owe on the house is going down, and the price of the house generally goes up. Now let's talk about liquid reserves. We recommend you should have 3 to 6 months of your mortgage payment in the bank. And the reason for this is the house could be empty for 30 to 60 days while you're trying to get it rented out. Also, you may have repairs that come up. So, what we have as a factor here, we generally say here at the SunWorld Group, you need your cost plus about 15% for reserves and replacements. So what this means is you're going to have money coming in that you got to pay the mortgage, and generally, depending on the type of loan you have, it probably has taxes and insurance in the loan. So let's say in that $2,300 a month mortgage payment, you have taxes and insurance. Then you're going to have property management fees. You probably have HOA fees if you're in a homeowners association. So you will need to add those in. And then you need to factor in, as time goes on, repairs. You're going to have maintenance such as roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, painting, plus replacements. If that house is a rental property for 15 years and the roof's already 10 years old, you might have a roof coming up in several years. So you have to be ready for those charges that'll come up. Now, before we get to the next point, I'd like to tell you about the SunWorld Group. SunWorld Group Property Management can help you with a free rental analysis, free consultation, and we can offer you full property management services. And we have helped hundreds of landlords with our services. If you're a rental property owner in Southwest Washington, Vancouver, Longview, Kelso Rock, Olympia, please visit our website, sunworldgroup.com, and learn more about how we can help you. So, some key considerations are if you need immediate cash, then you're better off selling the property. And also, you don't want to be involved in the time for landlording. You also need to know the market demand and timing if you're going to put your house on the rental market. So, spring and summer is the best time. But if you decide that you're going to put your house up for rent in the winter months, it will take longer to rent your house. And being a landlord is very complicated. There's a lot of rules with the landlord tenant law, and you may not want to deal with that. And that's when it's best to have a property management company who will navigate you through all these different things that come up and keep you out of trouble. And the key considerations when you hire a property management company is they're going to rent the property out, do the leasing, collect the rents, and then they just send you the rent every month and you don't have to do anything, which is much better. And you now can spend your time doing other things than having to deal with your rental property. Another factor is I believe that real estate is a great investment. You can build a lot of wealth with rental property. Some of the things you can do is down the road, if you have this rental property and you want to buy another property, you could even tap the equity of that rental property that you have and buy another property. So the big thing here is you got to look at your personal financial goals and also look at housing trends so that you can make this decision. At the end of the day, it's a personal decision whether or not you choose to rent out your home or sell it. Keep in mind real cash flow, depreciation, and reserves that can help you make the right call. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful tips.